Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. My name's Mamina. When in doubt, you can just say Mina. This will be a inner child, higher self with the spirit babies adding their 2 cents style reading. We're going to focus on some shadow things of your childhood that took place, some healing things that need to take place or are starting to. Then we're going to go to your higher self for an even deeper explanation on advice of what you should do on guidance. I like to use the word guidance more than advice. And then the spirit babies are going to add their 2 cents. Now, if you're new to spirit babies, I'm going to let you know the ones that are channeling in here. This is different than my last reading. The last one focused on spirit babies waiting to be born. I want to start off by saying spirit babies are not limited to just children that you birth. They can be children that you adopt, kids that you love like your own. They love you like a parent. Maybe someone you're dealing with already had a kid and you've taken their kid in. Spirit babies are soul connections. They go soul deep. Of course, in their truest form, they typically are born from the mother or born from the father. For example, your twin flame could have a kid with someone else, and that kid's vibration and spirit relates more to you than the person they might have had it with, especially if they're dealing with a karmatic. But that's a whole nother explanation. That's not what we're here to get into. The spirit babies channeling in here are everything from, and this is going to get a little bit sensitive for some of you because there is some shadow mentioned here. You might be triggered. So make sure that you've centered yourself, you've opened your mind, you've opened your heart space so that you can really receive the message you need to receive. If inner childhood work and spirit babies are sensitive for you right now, like you're not going to be able to process or handle it right now, then you'll want to skip this video. But continuing onward, some of these spirit babies may have transitioned over, either before they made it out the womb or afterwards. So if you notice certain vibrations as you hear the message, and it feels like a kid that you've carried or a kid that you've held and, heaven forbid, lost, that baby could be speaking. A lot of times those babies come back around. So that's another thing. Your spirit baby from before could be coming back around. And of course, as always, spirit babies who are waiting to be born channel in all the time, consistently, in every reading, unless I say otherwise. So that means if you're pregnant or if you're about to be pregnant, possibly trying to have, this may apply to you. This is a general reading for the collective. Only take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And as always, you guys are responsible for your actions and reactions when it comes to these readings. So as I said, first we're going to get into the shadow. These cards here were pre-shuffled. We have shadow on the top and light on the bottom. And then we have the higher self deck over here, and we have Baby Says, Spirit Baby Messages by Divine Moon Empress here. These two decks, the Higher Self and the Inner Child Oracle, are by another soul sister of mine, Star Soul Holistics. Both of them are on Instagram, and I will put their cards and all that good stuff in the description. If I pick up any signs in particular, I will let you know. But remember, it doesn't matter if you're the zodiacs that may be picked up or not. Could be in your chart, could not be. It's just the energy of the overall reading. Without further ado, let's get into it. We start off with the first card. We have, I feel unheard no matter how loud I scream. So before we continue and I break down what that card is, I want you to take a deep inhale. Hold it. Now let it out slow. Okay, I want us to process all of this properly. You, the person that this card resonates with, you are somebody that during your childhood, you really didn't feel your opinions mattered. Dramatic, life-changing things happened around you all the time with your family within, and some of you weren't raised by your parents, but some of you were, obviously. But either way, for those of you who were or weren't, you feel like every time something big happened, nobody included you. It's more like things were happening to you than for you. And if you tried to voice your opinions, you heard the classic stay in a child's place, or it doesn't concern you, you're a kid, what do you know? Children are very, very intuitive. When we are kids, we're still connected to the divine. We're always connected, but as children, we can see, hear, feel, sense, everything. We're more conscious than we are physical and material when we're children, from babies on up. It's the outside social construct and family constructs and dynamics that start to tear away and make us put up a wall, and at times can make us distance ourselves from that intuition, from that higher state of being. This is why kids, when you pay attention, they know how to comfort, they know how to uplift the spirits, because that's natural for them. When you're a child that feels unheard, when massive life-changing things are happening around you, it makes it where as you get older and once you become an adult, there's this need to be heard. And whenever you feel that someone doesn't get what you're saying, whether they mean harm or not, you take a personal offense, because it flashes you back to being that inner child and not being heard. I am picking up on some trauma from here. I'm not going to dive too deep into that because this isn't meant to go that deep. Yes, this is shadow, but it's not meant to go that deep. But yes, some of you had some traumas as a kid. Some of you, I'm seeing parents divorcing and trying to pin you against the other, or pin you and your siblings. Like the dad is saying the mom's doing this and the mom is saying the dad's doing that. They're so busy trying to hurt each other because they're mad at each other that they're hurting their children. Perhaps arguing all the time, trying to make you pick whose house to go over. And when you voice your opinion, when you voice that you really don't want to have to choose one parent over the other, you're made to feel like it's something wrong with you. That's an issue that you dealt with as well. I'm picking up on a lot of different groups, but the main issue that this plays into your adult life right now, two things. Either you're the kind of person that holds something in, very passive aggressive, so by the time you go boom, it's a big boom. Or you keep internalizing things. You never really voice your opinion because you feel like, even if I do, no one's going to listen, so what's the point of me trying? Next is the group I was talking about. You can probably be a bit inconsiderate of others' feelings, because if you feel like you're not heard, it makes you need to talk louder. You need to overspeak people. You need to get your point across. It's about being heard, instead of going within and healing. There's some forgiveness that needs to take place here, because you've guilt tripped yourself before. In fact, I get the feeling each of these groups have. You've guilt tripped yourself about the things you didn't understand when you were younger, or even some of the decisions you may have made. You might have been someone that in your adolescence, that's when you started to show out, as parents would say. You might have been acting out in your family, whether you were raised by your parents or not, whoever the adult figure was. When you would finally get angry or act out, and acting out can be anything. It doesn't have to necessarily be, you could have ran away at points, or, skipped class and things like that. But when you did it, it wasn't just a simple cry for attention. It was, look, every time I tried to talk to you guys, you weren't hearing me. So I figured this was the next best thing to do was to show my ass, pretty much. And that might be something that you still struggle with. Whenever you don't feel heard, you kind of like act out, so to speak. We'll get into the solution for a minute, but I'm feeling compelled to do all the shadow ones first because they probably all link together. How do I remain positive in a world full of lies? I feel like that connects to what I was saying before. If you've had family members that were either divorcing or pinning you one against the other, or these big life changes kept happening and nobody was really telling you what was going on because of that whole stay in a child's place BS. Because here's the bottom line, and you might find yourself, some of you got kids, you might find yourself saying that phrase to your kids. I'm gonna hip you the game real quick. If the decision affects the child, right? Meaning, if you're moving, you don't tell the kid that you're moving. If you're, it's something it's going to change their life. It's not a simple, oh, this happened, you'll get over it tomorrow. It's going to change like going to a new school. You got to relearn everything, relearn the building, relearn the teachers, and etc. You need to understand they're a part of that decision because it affects them. It's not saying that if you have to move, you don't. But you have to make them feel like their feelings matter, because their feelings should. If you experienced this as a child, remember how you felt. You didn't feel included. You didn't feel like they cared enough to make you a part of the plan or a part of the process, or at least explain to you why it's happening. Sometimes people just up and do things and they don't give a child an explanation. It's just, this is what it is. I'm the parent. You just do it. And think about how that has affected you in your life. If you find yourself saying it to your children, you need to check yourself and ask yourself, am I going about this the correct way? Again, it's not about putting kids in the middle of so-called adult affairs. It's about understanding that if the decision, like a divorce, like a move, like anything like that, Include them. Talk with them. Children are very smart. We live in a time where people have watered their kids down. Kids are very watered down now, and they become adults that are very either insensitive or very sensitive. There's no balance. And this is about returning back to balance. In order for you to be able to do that with your own child or with the relatives or people in your life, you have to be able to go within and do it with yourself. You've guilt tripped it yourself whenever people put you in this mode. Oh, I didn't speak up enough as a kid because I was slow, or you put bad things on yourself. Let me explain to you. Fear, anger, all these different emotions, most of the time, especially fear is not of us at all. We're not born with any of those emotions. A baby can be made to fear. A baby can be made to feel angry. Anybody can, but they're not our natural emotions. We didn't come into the world scared. Now, we might have come into the world crying because, we're like, oh man, we got to put up with this. Again, we're very conscious aware. We kind of know once we get out what we're getting ourselves into, and we're like, dang, but if you think about it, they say the only thing a baby fears is being dropped. And I'm going to say that's partially true. Reason being, you've ever picked a kid up and just thrown them in the air and they're just a giggling and a laughing like it's the best feeling in the world because they trust you to not drop them. What a child fears is you dropping them. What a child fears is you not being there, or someone that they believe will take care of them not being there. That's the fear. It's not the throwing up in the air and falling. It's the you catching them on the way down. Other than that, they enjoy the ride. So you've had people lie to you. You get to the point where now you don't trust people. You don't trust words at first glance. You have to understand the vibration that's set. Use your discernment always, right? But you can't enter every friendship, every relationship, or pre-enter anything with this thought process of, I can't believe anything a person says. That's the vibration you're going to pull towards yourself. What you think becomes you and your reality. What you believe becomes what you think, and it becomes your reality. If you don't want to live in a world where people lie to you all the time, then stop believing that every person you're going to come across is a liar. You don't have to trust every person, but you have to have enough respect to say, I'm going to tap into my intuition. I'm going to remove my past experiences and opinions. I'm going to tap into my true intuition. I hear a lot of people confuse the two. They're two different things. Your opinion is what will sometimes be right, many a time be wrong. Your intuition is that soul deep feeling that can only give you the absolute, whether you like it or not. It's not going to cater to what you like and don't like. It's going to give it to you on the real. Allow for that part to speak so that you can speak into your life and speak into your existence people that you can trust. People may come and go, but at the end of the day, the ones that stay, the ones that are seeds to be planted and rooted, they will be the ones that will level up with you. They'll cheer you on as you level up. They'll never drag you down. They'll never bury you. But you have to have the mentality and enough of an open heart to allow that in. We have, I don't know how to let go and have fun. I'm feeling like some of you may individually relate to these groups. And I'm feeling like for some of you, this is 2 and this is another set. So between 2 or 4 of groups are coming in here. I'm just channeling what's coming in. I don't know how to let go and have fun. You're a child, or you were a child. The energy that's coming in now is that childhood self. You were a child that you didn't get to play a lot. You didn't get to go outside a lot. If you did, it was with, like your siblings or your cousin or just your parents. Some of you are an only child and you didn't really get to have many interactions with other kids. Now, this is just what's channeling in. Take what resonates. I'm hearing some of you, your parents might have been Jehovah's Witnesses. So Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't celebrate like birthdays and holidays and things like that. I feel like you were in a very strict family with this. Some of you were just in a strict family, period. You had one strict parent and the other one kind of never really put their foot down enough to let you have some freedom. They might have snuck every now and then, but not really. So you couldn't go out at certain times when everybody else in school could go to like parties or block parties and stuff like that. You were the one that still had to sit in the house because your parents thought that they'd be a bad influence, that type of thing. Again, take what resonates. You are now someone who either you're tapping into being spiritual. This is the start of your spiritual journey. or you've been on the spiritual journey for a while. So that's how you identify yourself now. You identify yourself as just spiritual, but you come from practices that can be very particular. And you find yourself trying to like relearn the things you didn't get to enjoy as a kid. Like, how do I have fun? How do I express? Sometimes people might feel like you're a prude, or they might feel like you're too serious. It's not that you're serious. I mean, some of you may be. It's not that you're serious. It's just that, okay, like at an event, you know, when music plays, sometimes people move their shoulders a little bit and dance. You're kind of the stiff person. You don't really move because you're so self-conscious about it. You don't know how to just let go. So they take it like you sometimes having a stick up your butt. It's not that. You just literally don't know, in your mind anyway, you don't know how to just let loose, not be so, you know, stiff. A few of you are uptight. We're honest around here. I am picking up on some of you being uptight. This is also a belief system. This is another, you might get anxiety sometimes when you're in public settings. You might be a bit introvert. Sometimes what happens when we go through these type of things as a kid, when we get older, again, we adopt things that weren't naturally of us, like anxiety, depression. You get so concerned about what someone else is going to think about you dancing. You ever heard the term dancing like no one's watching? That's kind of where you need to be. Like, not so in your head about what someone else is going to think. I feel like if you start dancing on that dance floor and someone so much as chuckle, you'll go, okay, I'm over this. I'm done. Because you don't know how to let go. You need to learn to let go. You need to learn to have fun. You need to learn to be free. You need to tell yourself that you are free. I will have fun. I am free. Nothing can keep me from enjoying myself and having a good time. You have to speak that. Make it be. Speak it into existence. Because the reality is that version of you, it's your core. It exists already. There's no excuse to not let it out anymore. Yep, I was deprived of my freedom. Couldn't have fun. Couldn't really experience things. And many of you who had a strict parent in your teens was probably the hardest time, because in the teens, you know, that's when other teens start dating. You were probably told all kind of horror stories. I'm hearing someone say don't listen to sacrilegious music. So some of you couldn't enjoy listening to songs, and many of you love music. You can see that might be one of your gifts. You know, you're able to tap in and pick up spiritual things when it comes to music, but you weren't allowed to listen to a lot of things because your parents were like, I don't want that played in my house, and etc. Now as an adult you listen, but even with that, sometimes you can be very self-conscious. You need to understand that now you're free. Take a picture of yourself as a child if you have one. If not, just go back in your mind and close your eyes, visualize yourself as a child. Take a deep inhale. Hold it for the count of 5. Release it for the count of 5. Apologize to that inner child. Apologize to that inner child for blaming it, for feeling guilty. Cleanse all of that out. Allow that inner child to forgive you, and allow that inner child to vent its emotions and its feelings. Allow yourself to think about all the things that you thought would have been fun to do as a kid, and realize that while you're an adult, you can still do it. You never been to an amusement park before? Well, can't do it now because of the corona, but when everything is free and clear, go ahead on to the amusement park and get on them rides that you couldn't get on before. If you always wanted to play hide and go seek, play hide and go seek. Say to yourself, I'm gonna have fun friends that don't mind playing hide and go seek with me. If you've never had a night out on the town, be cautious, make sure you're safe, but go ahead and have a night on the town. Do the things that you wanted to do within reason, and allow yourself to have fun with it. But I would say, practice that for a while. Normally in soul guidance readings, I get more in tune, and we talk more about whatever the personal issue is, and then I make a meditation and an affirmation that is custom for your situation. But something that you can all do on a general level is just have a deep, rich conversation with your younger self. Allow your younger self to vent the things that couldn't be vented before, and allow yourself to give forgiveness from each side of the spectrum, because the inner child, it's locked in that position until you free it. And speaking of free, let's get into the freeing cards. We have, I'm being very patient. Yeah, because not being able to voice your opinions, like I was saying earlier, it makes you impatient. It makes it when people don't understand you, you feel this need to speak louder. I got to get my point across more. Or I just got to withdraw, go within, shut down. Those aren't the answers. Being very patient starts with you. Be patient with yourself, and it'll make it where you're patient with others. Accepting the fact that people will come and go. Didn't I just say that earlier? People who come and then have to go, they're like seasons. They came in, you learned something for a reason. It's time to progress and move forward and grow. People who stay planted and rooted, those are the people who are meant to level up with you. And you'll know who they are because they'll never make you feel depressed or down or sad. They'll be real with you. Real friends won't lie to you. So if you messing up in life, they're going to say, hey, you know you're messing up in life, right? They're not going to sit there and just let you destroy yourself. They care too much about you. They're not going to let you drag them down either, because that's another thing. People think loyalty is, I can just go and destroy a whole bunch of stuff and my real friend will just let me do it. That's not friendship. Codependency, maybe. Someone who likes to see you self-destruct because it makes them feel better about themselves, maybe. But that's not a real friend. A real friend going to tell you what it is. You dig? They're not going to hide or sugarcoat anything because they see that you have no limits when you yourself believe you have limits. Let those people who are supposed to come and go carry on. And each time they carry on, you learn something new. You learn how to see through and spot those people from a mile away. Don't use opinions. Don't use prejudgment. In each situation, see the person for who they are. And anybody that's ever lied to you, I don't care if it was your mama, daddy, aunt, uncle, cousin 3 times removed, whoever that was, you're not meant to stay loyal to them when they're causing you to self-destruct. If a person doesn't compliment your highest good, let it go. Let go with love. Let go with peace. You don't have to hate nobody. You don't have to wish harm on nobody, because that's the next thing. Some of y'all get addicted. Oh, I hope so-and-so did. Nah, let that go, because now you're carrying negative vibration of hate. What do you think you're going to breed in your life? Remember, what you think and feel is what will come into your life, and it's what you will become. Always let go with love and keep it pushing. You ain't got to take nobody's shit, but excuse my French. But let go with love. We have illusions. What's that? It's an illusion that you can't have fun. Didn't I just say that earlier? It's in the mind. You can have fun. You can let go. You have to speak it into existence. You have to believe it. And most importantly, you have to come out of your comfort zone, because that's a negative comfort zone to not be able to let your hair down and just have a good time. You use your discernment. It doesn't mean that you just jump into situations that are crazy and wild. I mean, yes, you need a bit of that spontaneity. That's the word I'm trying to say. Yes, you need a bit of that, because some of y'all you need excitement in your life. But you don't have to do it by doing something dangerous. You know what I mean? Because some of you might be very that's where your anxiety comes in. You think it might be something dangerous. No, you just need to realize that it's nothing wrong with kicking your shoes off, dancing in your living room to Before I Let Go. You know who you are, and allowing yourself to have a good time and getting used to just being loose. Who cares how you look when you do? Who cares? Have fun. And the next time you're at a family gathering or whatever it is, wherever, kick your shoes off and have a good time. Let your hair down. It's an illusion that you can't. This is your inner child speaking to you here. I'm learning to be considerate of others, because when you're deprived of your freedom, again, when you're deprived of your freedom and pretty much everything up here, it makes it harder to consider other people's feelings. You either over consider or you don't consider much at all, because to over consider is to be a bit selfish, if you think about it. That's a whole nother situation. Well, I'll break that down in a podcast later. But you find yourself sometimes, especially when you're someone who you don't know how to have fun, you couldn't be a kid, maybe you felt like you had to grow up sooner. There's this whole, when you see adults do things that you think are kid-like playing around in the street, and I don't mean player stuff, I mean like playing hide and seek in the street, or dancing at a party like nobody's watching. You might find that sometimes to be childish when you're in your lower vibrational moods, because when you were a kid, you couldn't do those things. And so therefore, it's like, well, if I couldn't do it as a kid, how come they can do it as an adult? Now it's time to learn to be more considerate of other people's feelings. Just because you were hurt or you felt confined as a child, it doesn't give you the right to project that onto someone else. This is why I say to you guys, triggers are meant to be cleared out. They have their purpose. Triggers are meant for you to realize, that's what I don't like. That's that thing that set me off that I didn't like. Okay, where did it come from? Let me find out where the root was. Oh, this is the root. Is this a reasonable trigger or not? Once you decipher all of that, it's time to transmute and transform it. It's time to clear it out. It's not meant to stay in your system. Because now, when you keep it, when you hold on to it, you're asking someone else to be responsible for your triggers. You're asking someone else who may not know what your triggers are from a can of paint to walk on eggshells around you. And honestly, if a person is against you, you're giving them the tools to know how to affect you because they know what your triggers are. They know what those buttons are, right? So it's not about being insensitive to them. It's about digging deep and clearing them out. Yes, you can reach a point where the traumas in your life, the triggers in your life can be so cleared, so purified that they don't affect you. It's like some long distant nightmare or some long distant thing that never happened. Not because you're burying it to where it can resurface, but because you truly, honestly cleansed it out. You forgave whoever needed to be forgiven for yourself. It can, to an extent it's for them, but honestly it's more so for yourself, because the point is to get to the level where you can't be affected by negative people and negative vibrations. And if something starts, you're human, so if something starts to tipper you off the edge, you remind yourself of who you are, you remind yourself of your divinity, you remind yourself of how powerful you are and all the things that you've survived, and you snap back out of it and you get back on the ball. Okay, we're very blunt around here, but it's all with love. It's all with love. Okay, we're going to go to your higher self, and then we're going to finish it off with what the spirit babies want to say to you. Let's see. I'm going to go for 4 cards from this deck. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Divine, for allowing us to tap in, help this group have the true clarity and guidance that they need. Okay. 4 cards, Spirit. 4 cards for this collective. Thank you in advance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, wow, I'm hearing that song again. That song channeled in on another reading before. These are temporary setbacks. Your process isn't going anywhere. Yes. Your process isn't going anywhere. The setbacks are only temporary, probably in place because you have some things to learn. Ooh, look at that. We were just talking about that. Your spiritual gifts are expanding. Remember I said some of you may have gifts where you hear things in songs? Surrender to the journey. Go with the flow. Stop resisting. Allow yourself to heal. Stop making excuses or reasons to not heal. I'm hearing the I Will Get There by Boyz II Men. I heard that once before for another group, and I'm hearing it for this group. If you haven't heard that song before, I recommend it. Go outside and soak up some sunlight. Yes, yes, yes. Because what? Not being able to have fun is an illusion. It's an illusion that you can't go outside and have some fun. You can be safe about it. I feel like this has to go where the Be Patient card is. Oh, some water. Oh, okay. I'm putting these where I feel Spirit wants them to go. Okay. Let's get to the baby messages. I don't even feel like I really have to break those down. I feel like they're you pretty much know. You can feel the card speaking to you. I think the spirit babies want that song to be sung while the cards are shuffled, so that's what we'll do. I will get there. I will get there somehow. Cross that river. Nothing's stopping me now. I will get through the night and make it through to the other side. Get there, get there. Yep. Yep, brought out an archangel. Look at that. Shamel. Archangel Shamel says your sacred chakra is blocked. Trust in yourself, mama, daddy, so healthy love, friendship, and creativity can flow in. When we're talking about genuine friends coming in. And this reading is for divine masculines and feminines. This isn't limited. Okay? Spirit babies don't just talk to the mommies. They talk to the daddies too. What else do we have? Ooh, I'm hearing, well, okay, that's two Boyz II Men songs. I'm hearing a song from Mama for the next card. Mama, you know I love you. I love you, Mama. Mama, you're the queen of my heart. Okay, so we have, you can't expect to always be there for everyone if you can't be there for yourself. Mama, daddy, I think it's time for me time. It's still speaking to some of the dads out there, but it's also coming out for the moms because a song from Mama was in my head when that came out. So that's definitely some spirit babies talking. You would know if that song touches you a lot, or if you've always thought of that song when thinking of your kids, so then you would know. Yeah. I'm also feeling like the heart chakra matters here. Remember I said in order to be considerate of others, you must be considerate of yourself. Okay, let's see, spirit babies, you have two more. Let's see if they have two more. We'll leave it up to them. The spirit babies are very particular when they want to be. So sacral chakra and heart chakra are important to focus on, my love. I'm hearing that I will get there again. Well, the night is cold and dark, but somewhere the sun's shining, and I'll feel it shine on me. I'll keep trying. I'll keep trying. I will get there. I will get there somehow. Cross that river. There we go. Oh, wait, we might have got too many. Hold on. Might have too many here. Okay, we have Archangel Raphael says your heart, didn't I just say this? Your heart chakra is blocked. Love and respect yourself, mama, daddy, so you can feel more happy and empowered. Literally we just talked about that. That just happened. Okay, we have two more cards here. We have mama, daddy, the answer is no. So this has something to do with an answer or a question you may have been asking yourself over and over again. Maybe about something that you thought you would have a hard time doing, and they're like, no, you won't. I'm feeling that this should be left up to you to decipher, so I'm not going to dig into it. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. And then we have fall. So this could be this fall, this could be next fall, but something about the fall time has significance for you when it comes to this reading. Is that all the spirit babies have to say? Yeah, that's all the spirit babies have to say. So that's your reading, my loves. Remember, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I feel like whether you can identify completely with all these cards or not, there was something here for you, something that you can grow and expand upon, and may you do so. Be blessed, be happy, be free. Peace, love, and light to you, beautiful souls.